Danny Segura for MMA Junkie. I'm here with Tommy McMillen, who's coming off one of the wildest wins we've seen in Dana White Contender Series. It was a phenomenal victory that got him a contract with the UFC. Tommy, first of all, I'm sure life is good right now. How are you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, bro. I'm excited to be back in AZ at home with my dog, and been in the gym already, talking to Tim, and just yeah, excited to get back to work, bro. Feeling good.
Nice. Dude, that fight was crazy. I didn't think you were going to turn it around, but you did. I mean, you displayed tons of heart, toughness. That first round was dicey. Can you talk to us what was going through your mind in between the first and second round? Because there was a clear switch, and you turned things around and you broke them, and you put on one of the better fights that we've seen in Dana White Contender Series history.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would say it's like necessarily like a switch or something I didn't do in the first versus what I did in the second. I came out, I felt good, I felt light on my feet, ready to be snappy, and I got caught with a spinning back elbow. I didn't realize what it was in the fight until watching it back, but he picked up a good tell on me, and when he was going to level change, because before then I stopped, I stopped and reversed some of his shots, was feeling good on that, on his takedowns, and then he faked a takedown, came upstairs and spinning back elbow me, and that rocked me. And from then on out, after that happened, I was recovering that whole first round. So I didn't have my feet under me at all the rest of the first round, a minute and a half in after getting cracked by that. So I'm obviously not able to perform the way I want to. So I'm more into survival mode, just trying to get through the round, not get finished. I can hear Tim yelling, but I'm rocked. It's you're seeing a little doubles. Your balance isn't there. You don't really have much on your punches. So I was just in straight survival mode in that first round, trying to get through it. And then when I was kind of started to come to a little bit and kind of like realize what's going on, I'm in a guillotine next thing I know, and I'm just like, damn, like this is worst case scenario. Um, so I wouldn't really say it's like a mental change from the first or second, but just going into the second, I knew like, hey, I lost that round, so I knew I needed to obviously win the next two and turn it up and just not get caught again, because I was confident that I could stop his wrestling. Like even in the first round,
Yeah.
it was only the last 10 seconds. I ended the round by stopping his shot, hit one of his last little takedowns he tried to get, and I'm in a front headlock in the first round after going through that. So I'm still going into on the stool with a little confidence, knowing, hey, I can stop this kid's best weapon, which is his takedown. Uh, but I know I got down on the scorecards in the first because it didn't go my way. I got clipped, and so I just knew that to outdog this kid for the next two rounds, I'm going to really have to dig deep, and that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was a great win, man. The toughest fight of your career so far?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I knew that going into it. This kid's legit. He's undefeated. One of the overseas grapplers. Like you never see the American, prospects. Usually, we for some reason it just seems like we don't really tend to beat these kids that are overseas, been grappling their whole lives, and so I knew the kid was gonna be tough. He's got Armin's blessing. Armin, the
Yeah.
55er, he's got him in his corner. I know he's got big management team behind him, that Ali dude, which is that dude's always choosing like the next big prospect and whatnot. So like I knew this kid was legit and he was tough. So I knew that going into the fight that this kid was gonna be the toughest kid I
Yeah.
was gonna fight. But it's at the end of the day when it's in front of Dana White, bro. I don't care who you are. If at 145 pounds, like you can get it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And you pick up the win, and you always see at the end you're like kind of just like walking him down and yelling at him and this and that, and you the fight ends and you're just like in ecstasy. We just see you like completely like in primal instinct, sort of just going off. What was going through your mind at that point, and did you feel like you had won the fight?
Yeah, I definitely felt like I won the fight. I knew I won the second round. Outstruck him a little bit. Had definitely better energy. He didn't get any takedowns on me. Um, knew I won the second, and I definitely knew I won the third, big time. And I saw Dana White out of his seat, and he was excited. So I just know that Dana probably recognized, I have that thing that people can't teach. Like a lot of people wouldn't have got
Yeah,
out of that first round, they would have got out of that guillotine. So I think the fact that I could get out of that and then end the fight the way I did, I think he realizes like, he's been around the game for a long time. This kid has something that you can't teach, and I belong in the UFC.
Yeah. I'm sure like most fighters, if not all, probably prefer like a quick finish in and out, right? Something impressive of sort of that nature. But this was equally impressive, different though. Do you almost Are you almost happy that it played out the way it did? Because as you said, you got to show your chin, your jiu-jitsu defense, your heart, and that stuff that you, especially the heart, you can't teach, right? You either have it or you don't.
Yeah, I'm happy the way it played out. Looking back at it all, it's I truly do believe with my confidence and the level I'm at, and even the dominant positions I was able to get this kid in. At the front headlocks early into the fight, stopping him right away. I truly believe if I fight this kid 10 times, I'm going to finish him in some of those 10 times. You know what I mean? But I'm not dumb enough to know that he's not a dog himself, and that there's going to be times when he catches me like something like he did, a spinning back elbow, and I'm going to have to fight through some adversity. So, like, I mean, I wouldn't have it. Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. It was dope for me to go in there, go through that, and I learned a lot, man. And
Yeah.
not only did I learn a lot, but I got the UFC contract on top of it. So it's almost like a double win for me in a way. Like if I went out there and just finished this kid in the first round, which I definitely have the capability to, on my best day when everything's going my way, but it's a fight, not everything always goes your way. And 100% I could finish the kid, but I want to be able to learn everything I learned. I learned a lot of things about how I can fight back better in those adversity moments when I'm rocked, things I can do better, things I need to remind myself to stick to when I'm in those type of moments. And I learned a lot, and it's going to make me like even that much better when I perform next time for you guys. And that's all I want to do is, perform for the fans and the people and just entertain the people that love this sport. So super excited the way it played out. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Big win. Did you celebrate big?
I mean, yeah, dude. I've celebrated. I had a good night. We rented out it was a dope ass penthouse at the Palms, the
Nice.
Embassy Suite. Had a lot of my friends there, my family there, a lot of big business owners. My mafia, bro. That's the family, friends, fans, big business owners, and a lot of beautiful women. It was a good night, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a photo circle around in the internet. I don't know if you saw it make it rounds as well, but yeah, it looked like you were in good company, man.
Yeah, bro, I had a good night. I worked really hard. I sacrificed a lot of my time and energy into this sport.
Yeah,
I live day in and day out like a martial artist, especially nowadays. And it was nice to just kind of sit back and look at all the years sacrificed away from family and whatnot. It just kind of came together for that moment. I was able to just sit down and break some bread with them and just relax with them a little bit. It was nice.
yeah. Now, moving forward, we've seen some fighters from Dana White Contender Series just immediately be like, "Okay, I'll take a short notice fight." We saw recently one of Hamzat's boy take a fight like the following week. I guess I know it just happened, right? But you're back in training. Looks like you're ready to go. More or less, what are you envisioning for your UFC debut? You think you fight again this year?
I mean, if it was up to me, I would have went in there, walked out with no scratches. I would have tried to get
Yeah,
on the mic and fight next week. But obviously they had to they made me go to the hospital after the
yeah,
fight. I saw my opponent in there. I didn't want to go because I want to talk to Dana. I knew I was gonna get my contract, but I listened to the medical team. They really wanted me to go, and they wanted me to get a head scan, make sure my jaw was good and my eyes and one of my arms. And the only thing that came back is a broken nose. So I got a little bit of a broken nose right now. But other than that'll heal up quicker than an eye socket or a jaw, so we're
yeah,
not too bad there. But I just I think I know I want to really open up the next card for my boy O'Malley. I've been training with him a long time. We're two Montana kids. If it was up to me now and I had my way, I definitely would open up the card for Suge on his next fight, 100%.
yeah. I know you don't speak for him, but when does he is he trying to like get back in the cage more or less? You know?
I couldn't tell you, man. You'd have
Yeah.
to ask him.
Okay. And how'd you guys link up, by the way? Because like before I saw Dana White Contender Series where they explained kind of you guys linking up, I saw you and I'm like, whoa, this kind of reminds me of Sean O'Malley, like kind of like the same vibe, similar hair, the tattoos, the whole thing. How'd you guys link up, and how has that been like? Because it seems like you guys are very much under the same vibe.
I mean, yeah, we're both from Montana.
Hmm.
Montana fight scene's a small place. I'm just like 4 years younger than Suge, 4 or 5 years, whatever. So when I was growing up in Montana, I'd go to all the local MMA fights. And before I was old enough to fight, I see Tim fighting and I'd see Suge fighting. And so I kind of always mainly followed Tim's career and always knew I was going to fight under Tim. And then it just so happened that years later, too, when Suge was done on the Montana regional scene, when he was 18, I guess he moved out and started training under Tim. And I saw the improvements he made from when I used to see him fight on the local shows in Montana to how good he got training under Tim out in AZ. And, I knew that's what I needed to do. And so that was kind of always the game plan. And I was talking to Tim throughout my whole, even just before I was old enough to fight, when I was just a wrestler, like in middle school and high school, I was telling Tim I wanted to move out to AZ, train with them. And I just kind of kept messaging him. And then Suge ended up getting on Contender Series. And then he was going to UFC. So Tim called me, pretty much said, Suge's getting on Contenders. He's going to buy a house. It's going to have a couple extra rooms. Would you like to move out and rent one of the rooms in Suge's house and, see if you can do this for a living? And, I was just turned 18 at the time. So it was perfect time to pack up my car and just go pursue this life.
Nice. So you guys live together. I'm guessing you no longer live together. You guys that was a
Yeah, no,
different.
that was like years ago in
Yeah, yeah.
2016 or 17. Whenever he got in, I was 18 years old. He was just getting in, and I moved in with him, and I lived with him for about 6 to 8 months. He kind of showed me the ropes of how to live like a true martial artist, and then I was able to just kind of go branch out on my own, get my own apartment, and just
Yeah.
kind of stay training around them and whatnot.
That's awesome. It's crazy that like Sugar's like very young, but in a way like he's almost like a pioneer, right, from Montana, because he kind of, as you mentioned, like he almost showed you like the blueprint, right? And you're like following in his footsteps from training with Tim, non-contender series, now in the UFC, right?
Yeah, I mean, Tim's a real pioneer, man. Like
Yeah.
I was seeing him, Suge was looked up to Tim his whole career too. That's the reason he moved out here. Same for me, dude. I'd follow Tim's career, and I've been around the sport for a long time. Uh, so I kind of just always followed Tim's career, and Tim's been a true pioneer when it comes to MMA in Montana. I followed his career when he moved from Montana out to, I think he was training like Portland, Oregon out there for a
Mhm.
little bit. So I just always kept an eye on him, and then when he moved out to AZ, that just seemed like the hot spot for martial arts. There's a lot of killers out there, and seeing Suge go out there, move out under him, and do the same thing. It was like, yeah, that's my intuition's right, and that's what I
Yeah.
need to go do. So that's what I did.
That's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, a long time in the making. You talk about like 18 years old. You like moved out there. You're 27. So like this has been in the making for like almost a decade. I'm assuming that win at Dana White Contender Series was like not only felt great, but it was also validating for like all the sacrifice and all the stuff you've done.
Yeah, 100%. I just think it showed my level of experience when it comes to being able to fight through those fires and go through those fires and come out on top. I don't think a lot of um, younger 8-0, 7-0 pros can do that. Like that's what I'm saying. The difference between me and that kid was, he had the same type of record, but he's not 27, he's 21, and just because I don't have a shit ton of fights on my professional record doesn't mean it's all I've been doing since I moved out here in 2017 when I was 18 years old. All I've been doing is training full time. I've done other things to keep me in the gym, but the goal has always been to become a UFC champion and just live like a martial artist. So I've been training full time out in Arizona now at the highest level for 9 years, and I think that experience and those sacrifices definitely came into play in that fight, man, 100%.
Yeah. And you mentioned your age there, yeah. Like you're 27. You're still very young, but you're obviously not, a 20-year-old or anything like that. Like new into the sport, you've been around for a bit. How quickly do you see yourself sort of rising through the UFC ranks? Obviously, Sean O'Malley took some time, before he started getting ranked opposition and stuff. Some others go straight away at the top. In your mind, like more or less, how do you want to kind of take things in your career?
I just want to take, yeah, that's a good question. Where I'm at in my headspace and the confidence I have in myself right now, I'm willing to fight anybody at 145 pounds. So I definitely don't want to be one of those guys that gets in the UFC and just kind of bottom feeds and doesn't make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
I have a big following, and I have the fight IQ and fight style to back it up. So I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna win fights. I'm gonna call people out, and I think the fans are in for a real treat over the next couple of years. Watch me climb through the rankings.
That's awesome. I'm excited, man. Also, lastly, I want to ask you about your Scarface tattoo. I'm from Miami. I grew up in Miami, so I can appreciate that. When did you get it, and sort of what's the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, the inspiration behind that, man, is obviously you've seen the movie. So in that part in the movie is, his house is being raided by
Yeah.
everybody, and he could have just went and ran. You know what I mean? Could have went and ran, but he went, grabbed his gun, and he just went spray and saying, like, pretty much just saying he's gonna die defending his shit. And MMA has brought me every blessing I currently have in my life. The sport's been good to me. And when I get in that cage, that's kind of my same mentality is, I'm willing to die to defend the blessings that this sport has brought me and will continue to bring me. And I think my performance last Tuesday night showed that I am willing to die in there. I thought my neck was going to snap. And I know 99.9% of people, even in the UFC at 145 pounds, would tap in that situation. And that's a big thing that separates me from the rest of these guys is that mentality. So it's kind of where that came from.
Yeah. Yeah, I watch a movie like every now and then again. It never gets old. Um, so I mean, you that means you got to be on one of these Miami cards that they're having, one of these pay-per-views.
Yeah, that'd be fun, dude. Miami seems like a fun place. I would love that. Honestly, I'd fight anywhere. I'll fight outside in the parking lot. Like if it's the world's watching it and Dana White's there and Dana White okays it, like I'll fight wherever. So super excited to get in and just perform for you guys again. I really just want to fight on the same card as Suge though.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool way to do my debut is open up the card for Suge and see two Montana boys, go fight the highest level together.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see, man. Well, brother, congrats on the win. One of the best fights I've seen in the history of Dana White Contender Series. You fought tooth and nail to get that win, so well-deserved contract as well. And best of luck in whatever's next. Hopefully, we do see you open up that card for O'Malley as you want for your debut.
Sweet. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.